All right, here's our protocol for soil sampling. The list of materials you'll need include paper bags, rubber bands, a Sharpie, a small soil core, 2.5 centimeters diameter, a soil core pounder or slide hammer, labeling tape for the core, and then a gallon-size sealable bag. What we'll be doing with our soil sampling includes plot-level soil sampling, cover-specific soil sampling for 4 different cover types, which will occur in 3 out of the 6 transects, and then we'll be looking at bulk density in those same 3 out of the 6 transects. So of our 6 total transects, to recap, there will be 3 transects where there are 2 soil sampling plots where we just do plot-level soil sampling. In the other 3 transects, there will be those 2 plot-level soil sampling plots, and in addition, there will be a cover-specific soil sampling plot where we also sample for bulk density. All right, let's walk through plot-level soil sampling. High level, what we'll be doing here is taking cores, using the small core to 15 centimeters depth, and taking 5 cores in the plot and homogenizing them so that we get a representative plot-level soil sample. So to start off, you want to label your bag for the appropriate plot that you're at, and we've got guidelines in the protocols about how to do that, but we'll say plot level, my name, our site, and let's see, the transect. So transect 1, and we're now at plot 2, and the date of sampling. Now what you'll do, you've got your bag labeled. You want to put on gloves. The reason we wear gloves for soil sampling is we might have oils or other things on our hands that we don't want to get into the soil sample. So it's just a good practice. Now what we're going to do is we're going to double bag this, so make sure the one with the label is on the outside. This is to make sure we don't lose any of our sample. And then I like to have that just set aside. So we'll be taking our soil samples to a depth of 15 centimeters. So you've got your small soil probe, and then you'll want to mark it at the 15 centimeter mark. So I did this already. You can use your tape, your transect tape, which is right next to you. Measure that out and use some of the tape. Now sometimes over the course of sampling this might fall off, so you'll have extra tape so that you can keep it nice and clean. Now this is just a helpful visual for us so that you don't have to use a ruler when you're out doing all of your samples. So we'll be going to 15 centimeters, and we have 5 locations we'll be sampling, the 4 corners of the plot, and then 1 from the middle. I'll note you want to do this after you've done all of your vegetation sampling because you don't want to trample the plot before you do your cover estimates. All right, so we'll start in the corner. It's going to be just in from that corner right here. You'll want to move all the litter aside and any of the duff top of the soil so that you get down to the soil surface. So then what you'll do is put your core right on top. And you'll push down to where that tape meets the soil. And then what can be helpful is to turn it as you're pulling it out. And then you can see it compacted a little bit. So that's all right. But we know that we went down to that 15 centimeters. So that's okay. And then what we'll do is empty it into the bag. And you can use your fingers and your gloves to just make sure that everything that was in that core comes out. And then you're ready to go on to the next one. All right, so now I've got my samples all in the bag. You'll want to just fold the top over, fold it down, getting some of that air out, and then we'll use a rubber band around it so that the soil doesn't come loose. So there you have your plot level soil sample. So now I was able to take those soil samples with this push core. In some soil types, the ground will be too hard or too rocky for something like that, so you'll use a pounder or a slide hammer to get the cores into the ground. And the cores that we have, you can detach the handle and put that pounder on that slide hammer so that you can get a little extra help getting into the ground more than just your body weight. So let's walk through now our cover-specific soil sampling. So similar to the plot level sampling, we'll be going to 15 centimeters depth with the small core. But in this case, what we'll be doing is we'll be taking cores from 3 examples of a cover type and then combining those cores to get a representative sample for that cover type. The 4 cover types that we'll be focused on are bare ground, rhizomatous grass, bunch grass, and shrubs. So the way this will work in the field is at the cover-specific soil sampling plot, you'll throw in 3 flags over your shoulder or not looking into the plot, and then identify the nearest examples of a cover type. So you'll do this one at a time. So for example, you'll look for the nearest example to each of those random flags of bare ground, and that will be the 3 places where you'll take your bare ground sample. You'll then repeat this for the remaining cover types. Here's the materials that we'll need for our bulk density sampling. You'll need a quart-sized plastic bag, a Sharpie, the larger soil core, the 5 centimeter diameter soil core, the slide hammer, labeling tape for the core. So you'll use a plastic bag and write your sample information. All right, so then we'll be using a larger core for bulk density. And I've got my spot here cleared away. So here it's attached to this slide hammer. We've got, we're going to this known mark. So you want to check and make sure that you get to the point where the mark hits the soil, so that you are actually capturing that known volume. So we're right there. Now in some soils you might be able to just pull it out, and some you're going to have to lightly use the hammer to get it back out. And now we want to capture everything, oops, from this core. So put it in the bag, and then here this screws off. So then you can use your hands to get the soil out, or tools like a screwdriver can be helpful too. You want to make sure that everything that you captured in the core comes out into the bag so that you get that full weight. All right, so then we have our core. Okay, so to recap, we'll have plot level soil sampling at all 6 of the transects, and then at half of the transects there will also be cover-specific soil sampling for 4 cover types and bulk density sampling.